come across. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Going along with that too, it's like constant teasing can be like very annoying and just tiring. Like if it's just once in a while too, it's like, for me at least, it's okay. But yeah, if you just like, you did it once and it's like fun, but then you just keep doing it, it just gets really annoying.
At least for the difference between being mean and being flirty, I'd say just make sure you guys are on the like same page, or like adding one more being like either mean, being a friend, or being flirtatious. Just make sure you guys have a conversation of, again, is this going to be a relationship kind of flirty, or just like be on the same page so it doesn't get confusing for a good friendship.
It also depends what stage of friendship you are. If they know you better, then it's also differently perceived, I would say. Like if you just know each other well and you know you tease each other a little bit, there's no problem in that. But if you, let's say you like a guy and just, I don't know, just met him a few months ago, he's great, and you just start teasing him and haven't really talked that much yet, then he's gonna be like, what's the deal here? So yeah, I definitely think that the stage that you're at in your friendship is a big aspect.
I think that's surprising for me to hear, because I feel like personally I've always had this like perception that the way to talk to guys is to kind of be mean, like they like that. Cause like, I don't know, I just felt like they were always just like a little more like aggressive and rough. So that's how you like communicate with them. So that's quite interesting to hear that you guys are like, nah, no thanks, none of that.
Yeah, like even those tough guys have a soft spot that can be hit.
That's true.
And I would say for me, like I actually had to start learning what the difference is from being mean teasing and what is friendly teasing. Cause like I have a couple of friends here in Vancouver who are just, they express their love for each other through just a bunch of teasing.
Right.
And so I actually had to learn, okay, this isn't actually them trying to attack me personally. So like, I guess not all guys.
Right. So like Raph said, you just have to, it's better if you know the person well, and so you can understand when it is teasing and when it is actually mean.
Exactly. And I feel like there's also, I'm not speaking out of my personal experience, even though I am an international student. I feel like Canadian culture is very, what's the word, sarcastic at times. And there's different cultures that they're not very sarcastic, mine included. Although I have spent some time in Canada, I get the sarcasm to the most part. But like, if you're being sarcastically, you know, teasing one of your international buddies, they might get very offended because they don't know that you are just kidding. So be aware of that too.
Yeah. Going off of what Zach was saying earlier, I think part of it is definitely knowing the person. And also knowing the boundaries, I think, is a really big part. Because if teasing is something that they like or is fine with that relationship, if you keep doing that, you might eventually do it to greater capacities. And at some point, you might reach where it's not okay, where it's just becoming mean. But before it was done in a innocent manner, but now it's coming across as mean. And so acknowledging, is this escalating or not? I think that's good to know, as well as the boundaries.
Right. All right, next question. So according to you, how can you improve a relationship with someone?
I think we would all agree on that communication is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you aren't in good communication with somebody, you're bound to fail. Like, yeah.
Would you say, let's say communication isn't working, like whenever you try to understand each other, it's just arguments and nothing's really working. Would you say that that a relationship like that is worth fighting for and working for? Or do you think that there is a certain point when a relationship needs to be let go.
If you're
That's a-
communicating and you're like always getting into those arguments, how would you then solve those problems if it's always ending in arguments? So I think the only way you could solve that is like by ending it. Like you could try to fight for it, and maybe it is just like a bump in the road.
Mhm.
But I think like over a long period of time, if it's just whenever we talk, it's just a fight, then yeah.
Right.
If I could interject, I think even there's value in communicating about communicating, because even like in any interaction, each person kind of comes in, like there's kind of like a topic, but there's also like relational understanding. But then there's also like you communicate differently with different people. So if the way that you're communicating with this person isn't working, and you still want to keep the relationship, you might want to sit down and just like, again, like listen to the person, like then assert your needs, and just also just understand what are the boundaries for communication. Because, there might be one person who's like, I cannot be teased, or different things, and just like, yeah, just communicating about communicating can sometimes be really helpful.
Totally. I think this goes for friendships as well, like not just a like dating relationship, because I know that like I have this one friend who will never text me first, but I know that she doesn't do it to be mean or that she doesn't want like the relationship. She's just the worst texter and never like thinks about texting me first. So we often have to like just plan to get together to actually like talk and communicate. And I realized about her, and I know that I don't want to lose that friendship. So I continue to work and like for that relationship with her, and like plan days to like hang out. So I think that if you do value the relationship, you, like Julia said, you have to talk about, like you have to communicate about communication as well, for sure. That's a good point.
Going off the original question, I'd say like try to figure out why it's ending up in arguments.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you understand that, then maybe you can get around it and like solve the problem, and you'll have a great relationship after. But like, yeah, if you can't figure out what it is, then maybe it's a time to drop it. If it doesn't actually, like everything you trying to talk, trying to find out what's happening, and everything else doesn't work, then it's just going to end up hurting you and the other person. So then it's probably like better to just leave it.
Absolutely. That's good. So this one is, what is your reaction to a girl crying?
I mean, like instantly, if it was happening at like CBC, I'd feel a lot more comfortable just walking up to them and sitting down and be like, hey, like what's going on? But the only thing that mostly stops me from doing that is the fear that like they'll read into it wrong of being interested in some way. Whereas I'm just naturally a caretaking person where I want to check in on them. So my deep down answer is like, I want to go and check up and have a conversation and see what's going on and see if I can help in any way.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say I have pretty much the same reaction that Zach does. Like try to figure out like if I can help them, try to talk to them and stuff. But it also would depend a lot on who the person is and like how well I know them.
Mm-hmm.
So like if it's someone I don't know well, I'd probably just go and talk to them a little bit. But if it's like someone I know well and I know like what their love language is or something, I might just go in and hug them or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Jay on the point about depends how well I know them, and yeah, if it's someone that I'm really close with that I know well, I'll probably go give them a hug and I don't know, help comfort them, however that may be. If it's someone that I do not know too very well, I might err on the side of caution and see if there is anyone else in the area or the room who perhaps knows them better than I do. And if I am the person who perhaps knows them the best out of everyone who's there, then I will do my best to help.
So let's say it's oh, sorry, do I sound weird? I sound weird on my screen. Let's say it's like your girlfriend starts crying. Do you find that annoying if she's like an emotional girlfriend, or do you find it like that you like care and you want to like solve like whatever it is?
Yeah,
Make
I
them look
wouldn't
nice.
find that annoying.
You wouldn't find that annoying?
I would actually hope that she would want me to be there for her in that time of distress,
Right.
rather than thinking that I don't want any part of that.
Right.
Because I'm in a relationship and I want to be there for the good times as well as the bad times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is key when being in one.
Totally. Were you gonna say something, Raphael?
Well, first of all, I totally agree with him, with Trevor, and I feel like that's what I heard at least in psychology class back in high school. That I'm not saying this is true, but that guys usually are always trying to fix and solve problems, and so like I feel like for any guy when they are in a relationship and your girlfriend is crying, you obviously you want her to feel better, and so that means it would never be annoying. You want her to feel good. You want her to just to be happy again. And so I don't think that any guy, whether you are more or less emotional, like you should accept that if you cry, you cry, and then he should be there for you and just
Can I throw something out there? I am definitely the kind of guy that initially, when a girl would cry, I would just have no idea what to do, and I would just get super uncomfortable. I've kind of learned how to handle that more now. I still am kind of bad sometimes, but my initial go-to, like a few years ago, was just to try to make the girl laugh and get rid of the issue in like a sweep it under the rug kind of way, which I have also learned is not the greatest technique. But just for you ladies, when you do one day cry in front of a boy, give him a little bit of grace, because he doesn't necessarily know what he's doing.
Mhm.
But just, I guess, walk through him with that, even though you're sad.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's good. Awesome. Next question. What are the qualities that you look for in a girl?
Probably first off for most of us here would probably be Christian. Like, probably. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's probably the first one for me. Also probably like a caring person.
Mhm.
Caring, gentle. I don't know. Yeah.
For sure, those. I would also probably add, at least for me, I'm a fairly big nerd slash geek, so at least someone who would like understand that I will make references all the time. If the situation applies to it, I will make a reference. So, I mean, someone who would at least appreciate my love for those kinds of things, or at least open to me being who I am, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, it's different for every guy, but definitely Christian. Somebody who takes value in my interests, as well as caring. Like, they don't have to fully understand the same level that I have for things, because sometimes, obviously, like if you're a nerd or something, then you know everything down to the period or whatever. But just having like, this is what he likes, this is how I can help and be supportive of that. And definitely a big one is the arts for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for me, well, being a Christian is one, but other than that, a big one for me is self-awareness. Someone who they look a lot at the actions and